they're going to say, where are those two? And we're
I
just
know. Where are they?
outside,
It's like, sorry,
let's
we get busy.
see. It says, I'm just waiting.
Oh,
It says
uh,
live. Okay, so I got the
got it.
voice in my head, so I guess it's
I had
recording.
to hit
So
got it twice.
twice, all right. So
Yeah,
hey
got it. Got
everybody,
it.
hello, So Tribe. So
Hey.
good to be back. Took a 4-day little mini holiday. And so if you're here, then you're in the right place. This is a second look. You know who I am and my lovely co-host next to me, Miss Trina Phoenix. How are you, my dear?
All better when I'm in Wayne's World.
We're late because we were like really getting into some stuff. And
We were.
so well, what is that song? Was it Eddie Arnold? Welcome to my world. Anyway.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
and then we'll take the modern update of Wayne's World, Wayne's World. So here we
That's
go.
right. It's always better in Wayne's World.
So how you been, my dear?
Oh, wonderful. Just working and spring cleaning. It's in the air and getting it done and just busy, but just so much going on. It's there,
It really
it's just
is. Yeah.
really, there's just so much going on. It's like, wow, trying to keep up. Wow, there's just a lot going on.
Time is accelerating.
Hmm.
It
Feels like it. Oh,
Yep. Yeah, it really does. Because, I'm looking back and I'm going, so where did these last 4 days go?
right.
Yeah.
Proof
Right. Boom.
gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, Bosto to everybody, favor
Yep.
to everyone. We give the world a hug. I actually read someone that said that there was an article about someone hugging bears for the world, teddy bears. So, hey, maybe this is a trend. And
Oh,
Guy Pilot,
absolutely. From teddy
hi
bear to
guys.
you.
He's just far out, man. So got the Sky Pilot here looking over us, Miss Trina, and there is so much going. Happy birthday if anyone's having one. We just or an anniversary, hey,
Yes.
yeah,
Anything
yeah.
to celebrate, we celebrate with you.
And if you just want to celebrate, hey, that's kind of cool too. I
Yeah.
mean,
We'll
you know
participate in that too.
yeah, we're flexible.
Yes,
That's all I can tell you.
absolutely.
We're flexible. And if you don't believe us, just ask somebody. All right. So I think I finally got everything back in order here. So, Miss Trina, you and I were talking prior to going live, and I was showing you the project that I have felt being drawn towards. And after spending 4 days of just doing, I didn't even turn my cell phone ran down to zero. Don't do that, by the way. It's
Yeah.
not really good. Uh, but it occurred to me that we are really truly there is an awakening taking place, but I don't think it's really in the construct of what some people think. There is something going on. So what I did, I took it upon myself. I have a treasure trove of books, particularly about off-worlders. And Marsha Price, hello, Marsha. And by the way, thank you all the moderators and everybody else in the chat room. So good to see you.
Oh,
And those of you who are not, hey, we just send you a big hug. How you doing? If you're just listening to us, Trina is looking fabulous as always, and
you
she
too.
is wearing a beautiful blue ensemble with a blue on blue that has this certain je ne sais quoi look to it. It's very well coordinated and has a certain, how should we say, continuity.
Oh, you're awesome.
See, I'm doing my fashion report on the runway, Trina.
Right. You're awesome. My gosh, you're great at it. Great.
so,
Absolutely.
uh, so it dawned on me. This book, by the way, I highly let me get it.
Mind blowing. Yeah. I was like, what?
Y'all
Wow.
really need to read this. It's called The Scars of Eden. The first book Paul wrote, Escaping from Eden, was really good. This is a follow-up, but this one really gets to, I guess he just decides, let's go ahead and crack all the eggs and let's just get it over with. And you know, you're only going to get scrambled. I'm sorry, that's the only way they come. So
I love it.
he brings out that humanity,
Mhm.
us, particularly if you look in the last 4,000, they're about 5,000 years, there has been something really weird that has happened. This amnesia is a cancer that it's ever evasive on the collective consciousness of man. Today, our belief systems, all of them, I don't care what it is, if you believe in an afterlife, if you believe in a God, you believe in a construct that carries on after you lay down this physical body, all of it is wrong. Because here's the deal, Trina, what this guy brings out, and he brings it out very succinctly, is that all of our belief systems are from the sky people, the powerful ones, those who come from off world. They brought to us, they brought to us the the ability to perceive. That's the key, the ability to perceive that there is something beyond us. And he points out that if you look at how we look at everything today, it's predicated on a hierarchy.
Yes.
And it could be on a different remunerations of the same thing. Every God is really not of this world. This God is an off-world God. Now, Trina, I'm going to give you a special treat with everyone. Did you see the release? And I just want to thank Ben Davidson over at Suspicious Observers. He was the one who brought it out on Thursday. And I've left a link in the description box to two gentlemen who really expand upon this. I believe after you see this, and particularly if you go and watch the video on Rumble, that we now have confirmation of what we would classify as a level 3, most likely a level 4 civilization. Man is at a level 1.
Wow.
So allow me to show you this, Trina, because this is going to be spectacular. I spent a great deal of time putting my own pictures through Photoshop, and I'll show those in a second. So this is the Orion system. This is in our Milky Way, and it's quite spectacular just when you see this. But what I'm about to show you, Trina, is going to, well, blow your mind. So remember this, right?
Yep.
So what we have here, let me just say this as well. We do not know in spatial distance. We don't know how close these stars are to each other. We don't know how far back they are. We just basically have this one plane view.
Right.
So, you know, the depth, the spatial depth is hard to determine. However, there is most likely a very large, abundant, civilized life forms here, most likely level 4, as I said. So watch this. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring it down. Do you see it?
No,
Do
show
you
me.
see the circle?
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
That's not a camera anomaly. That is a real circle. And the fact is that it also extends. What they have now measured would be approximately 3 light years across and about 100 plus light years when you see its connecting counterpart. And the connecting counterpart is right up over here. Do you see it? Let me pull it up better for you. Right here.
Wow.
So this is important. So check out the link below. I am going to show you something that I did that helped bring this out a little bit more so you can see exactly the impact of this, because it does look like, for all intents and purposes, that we may have evidence now. What we've suspected is that there is life beyond the intelligence of just humans. Thank God, whoever that may be.
Right.
So I'm waiting for it to, here we go. So something's touching the back of my head.
Oh, that's funny because I just looked down at that book.
What? Mm-hmm. Now, where am I?
Okay.
Okay. This is odd. I can't there. Is that it? No. You know
Like,
what?
where did it go?
What? I'm serious. It's like, I saw it right there. Okay, so here it is. I can actually blow it up much more in detail for you, so you can now really get the impact of this.
Wow.
Do you see it actually goes through this dust cloud, this
Yeah.
nebula right through here?
It's like a cell.
And yeah, I mean, let your imagination run wild. It goes, look, it goes behind this star.
Uh-huh.
And as you follow it through, it, and what I did, come on, there we go. I went, as it, his computer goes, well, I don't think I like this. Turn, darn it, turn. Of course, the computer is not cooperating,
It's
of
like,
course.
nope, won't do it.
What is wrong with you? Okay, well, I was going to show you others, but anyway, this is kind of like really cool. I mean, if this is in fact something, and again, sorry, we don't have time to mess with you anymore. We have a
That's
show
okay.
here to do. But anyway, Trina,
What do you think it is, Wayne?
I guess if you're going to traverse large distances between stars, you know, the idea has been postulated by Tesla, Einstein, Freeman, even Hawkins, and that the only way you could get there is that you would have to have the ability either to fold time or be able to burrow through time, which we would call a wormhole.
Yes.
Uh, Science fiction, Hollywood has done great. You know, they did the whole Stargate series, was on the fact that, you know, there you had a Stargate with chevrons, and each chevron was a corresponding constellation, and being able to condense, you know, the time space into a wormhole. I look at that, and if we're seeing it through our deep field telescope, then it has to be massive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beyond almost the ability. So what is it? Um, is it a conduit?
Yeah. I wonder.
It's fascinating because in of all places in the Orion system, the books, ladies and gentlemen. So that channeling and conjuring, we're going to get into this because this is very interesting. So this week, Trina, I'm going to be doing all my shows are going to be on disclosure. I think it's here. It's already happening. We're in the midst of disclosure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, definitely. I think yes. And
So
I keep hearing that, we will be the biggest part of that. It's what we do. It won't come from anything other than
it
that.
seems that that is collaborated in a number of different books. You know, so anyway, I was just showing Trina. So this is my first one. This is a book that will really take you back because it has all the different species in it. There's over 220 of the books that I have. Rennie sent me this one here. I'm loving this one right here. This one is a story, and again, we have the different beings, where they came from, do they interact with Terrans? And that's what we are. That's what the galaxy sees. They don't see us as Earthlings, they see us as Terrans.
Yep.
So then I have these books. So I went, Trina, I was in a time warp. And I'll just show everyone so you can, and we'll get into more of it this week. This is the lost chapters of the Blue Planet Project. This one is a mind blower. This is the yellow book. And it's interesting because all of these books with different authors, different time periods, are all kind of telling the same story. These are a detailed description from released documents, insiders who have come clean of the different bases. This is the Blue Planet Project, which is, everyone heard of the Blue Book? Well, that was a cover story of what they were really doing. And then we can thank the Russians for this one. This is the book of alien races. This one here is as detailed as you can get. It has detailed drawings, documents released by the Russians on what the Russians in the KGB knew for a very long time. And here is the point. They're here. They've been here. The fact is there really isn't we think that there is a race called Homo sapiens. There was, I think. It's very evident that there is a war taking place right now. There is a new player who's come into it. And last night I was reading till way late, and I'll share that this week. So there is apparently a gravitational vortex with a dimension of minus 3.5 squared pi. I think I got that right. And its effect will be felt throughout this quadrant of the Milky Way. And it has, well, apparently, if what is being said, it's going to be a very bad day for this solar system. Because part of this is that it's actually going to be warping what we call space-time itself. They say, and this is why we should talk about the channeling or the conjuring. They say that they've been telling us, our species, this for hundreds of years. The problem is that we didn't have the ability to comprehend what they were trying to tell us. And as a result, they took another way, because there's only 4 ways in which we could say communication with God, with angels, with demons, with conjuring spirits, or with off-worlders. Is 1, direct. That would be face to face. 2, the most preferred way, but because of the density of the vibration of our planet, we have microwave now, we have Wi-Fi. And what we're not understanding about Wi-Fi is that that's exactly what it's put a dampening field over us. And so that has stopped a lot of the telepathy that the off-worlders were seeking out. And it's a very interesting thing. Not all humans have the capacity or the ability to receive telepathy. Apparently, it does require a higher functioning brain. So when they put the dampening field in, then there were only 2 other ways, and that was channeling, which is actually a form of conjuring.
Yes, absolutely.
What do you think of that?
Absolutely, because you're making an agreement with an entity to work together to bring forth information, messages. Yeah. So yeah, that's a pretty serious conjuring actually, because you're inviting them to take over your physical being in an agreement.
It's interesting that you bring this up. So I went through, this is my third one, like you. We could probably, when we get together, which I am projecting we're
Share
going to do
notes,
this
right?
fall, and we're going to meet at Marsha's place. Just want to let you know.
Yep, let's do it.
So here is the Bible, my Bible that I used. This Bible is 39 years old.
Wow.
In it has my thoughts of, because I was really into Christianity. I
Uh-huh.
mean, it it was my whole construct, Trina.
Absolutely.
Um, I was used in the gifts of the Spirit,
Yeah.
which brings to the point. You see, what I did is I spent nearly 50 years channeling and conjuring, but under the guise that I was talking to an imaginary God that I could neither define nor point to, but believing in a savior that was going to save my soul, because apparently I am nothing more than a worthless piece of dung. That's what the Bible says.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore I need this. But what I never realized, for instance, when I was baptized,
Uh-huh.
and when I mean baptized, I was baptized in fire, baptized in the Holy Spirit.
Yep.
And what I never realized is that when you stand to receive the baptism of the Holy Spirit, you open yourself up and you physically, with your words, invite that spirit that said it's holiest spirit to come in and to dwell in you. That's demonic. Well, that actually what it is, it's spiritual possession. That is conjuring.
Yeah.
Is it or is it not?
It totally is. And it can happen so innocently because it happened to me the first time when I was in church camp and I was like 12 or 13 years old. And I literally got taken over by a very higher power. And oh wow, it felt wonderful. I
It's
couldn't stop laughing.
transformational, isn't it?
Yeah, and I couldn't stop crying tears of joy. It was the most
Yeah.
overwhelming. Oh, it was just bliss. And all the preachers and the counselors, they were all watching over me. And this lasted for hours,
Yeah.
hours and hours. And then after that, the owner of the church, he's like, "You want to get baptized?" He's like, "I'd really like to baptize you next weekend in my brother's pool." Because I don't think they'd seen anything like that before. And he wanted to baptize me immediately. Yeah. So yeah, it
Seal
was,
the contract.
I'm telling you, and I had no idea. So profound. But yeah, that is definitely real. Oh my boy, is it real? Whoa.
It is real. It's
It does
transformational.
change you. You can't unpop that popcorn. Once you've been through that, whoa, whoa, whoa.
So then what is, that's, and so this weekend and this week, folks, you'll have the opportunity to hear my thoughts on it. But for me, it was spiritual. I mean, I was used in the gifts of the Spirit.
Yeah,
I was a natural healer already, but
yeah.
and I can still speak in tongues, which is strange, because that was one of the signs of being infilled with the Spirit,
With the
having the
spirit.
tongues of fire,
Yep,
as it was well described up in the book of Acts.
yep,
So what's
yeah.
going on?
I think that is you're literally being taken over by a higher being. I really do.
And so the question is, and this author, Paul Wallace, really brings it out. He says, so what's going on here? I mean, are we saying that this is a human spirit that is interacting with another human spirit here in this plane?
Could be.
Or is it, in fact, potentially a system brought in by a higher intellect that is beyond man, or what we would call Homo sapiens, capacity to even comprehend, much less apprehend.
It would be so simple because if the quantum computer writes the Bible, then if you wanted to have an effect related to the biblical things, such as speaking of tongues, all that,
I
that's
mean, in the book of Acts, they
all
actually had
programmed.
flames of fire licking on
That's what I
top of their
mean. It's all,
heads.
it could be all implants, programs that have been implanted, and with those conceptions of those things, and we would have those abilities because
It was
we
pointed
believe it.
out to me that you had 120 in the upper room. They were actually, that what they were actually doing was holding a seance.
Yes.
You see,
Yes.
it's just a matter of your perception of what's really going on, what's being recorded.
Yeah, and you know, and that seance can go either way. Are you calling forth with love and generosity and healing in your heart, or are you summoning
Well,
something
Paul
that
brings out the fact, he
soul?
said, let's talk about what you're actually calling forth.
Right. What are you actually calling
I
for?
mean, what we're talking about here is, if you go with the storyline, and I'm not saying it happened or I'm not saying it didn't, this is in the book of Acts. What
Speculate.
we're talking about is, you're talking about a group of people who freaking opened a portal to something. Now, they called it the Holy Spirit, which, by the way, is a contradiction to the, even within the Jewish community. There is no such thing as a Holy Spirit that comes down. But obviously, they opened up a portal to something.
Uh-huh. See, I do think there's got to be a Holy Spirit because there's too much symbology that tells you that there is, specifically with the dove.
So where is this Holy Spirit
Uh,
coming from? What does it represent then?
what if it is a frequency that can be delivered from your own soul, your higher self? That's a vibration that normally your physical body can't really handle, but it can be delivered into you upon. You got to be able to tune into these frequencies. If your frequency isn't naturally at least halfway, you can't take those vibrations. They'll harm your physical body. Like I literally think they can shock you like lightning and hurt you. So that's why it's always like raise the
So you would
vibration.
say it would be more of a frequency based, as
Yeah,
opposed to what I would call a personification to something that today we would call it an alien. We would call it potentially an abduction. We would
yeah,
call it potentially losing time and being transferred into potentially another dimension.
absolutely. Because time isn't linear. And like you said, you
So
can
what if the Holy Spirit is actually ET?
could be in a third dimensional matrix. Why wouldn't it be? Because everything here is a reflection of organic. This is false light, reflective light. Everything is mirrors. Everything
See
here
where
is
this,
about
it's
spirit.
fascinating when you dig into this, because
Yeah.
I'm going, okay,
Mhm.
if, for instance, in these books there is a race of beings on the other side of our galaxy, but they are, Thorn, who is channeling all this information down, is saying that their whole construct is spiritual. Now, not all races have a spiritual component to it. I mean, it's a very brutal,
Yep.
it's really freaking brutal out there. That's all I got to tell you.
Yep.
They have no emotion. And those who have been abducted, and folks, there have been a number of people, Trina, who have written me, who are telling their stories of abductions. And
Yeah.
it parallels to what I'm reading in our research.
It's so crazy the similarities between the testimonies of people who have been abducted. I mean, the stories are almost identical.
So I'm out last night because it was the first night that was actually clear here. We had a very, I loved it. It was, Seattle wet weather in Denver. And as I'm looking up of about 3 o'clock in the morning, um, there were three balls. I mean, uh,
Yep.
obviously, I think that I don't find it, coincidental.
No.
Um, but it has gotten me to think that, all right, There's probably more of us here who have actually maybe had an encounter. I believe a lot of us have been abducted. I think many of us have been abducted in our childhood.
I think more humans have been abducted than haven't.
Apparently, we are as the Chandler was talking about, humanity is like this lake reservoir of DNA.
Yes, living library. That's what we are. We hold the codes of the living library because we hold the codes of the most vast amount of races conglomerated on one planet ever in all time. So this is huge. And yeah, and I
It's
think even
big. It really is.
yeah, we've got stuff right now going on with genetic
We
things
do.
a little bit different, possibly. So I think that within this timeline, this is why you saw such a massive increase of abductions, because they might be preserving the genetics because they
According
know
to
that
the
there
book,
were problems in the future with that. So this
yes.
is why I think so many have been taken in this timeline. And I think that it used to be like more less and to families, but not no more, man. They're going for the gusto because they need to protect, I think, what's going on before things maybe go wrong, and at least they'll have something to fix themselves later.
Apparently, there is a council. There is this galactic council. I've read about it in the many different versions of it, but
Yeah.
apparently, if you look at it, there is, and not all the species, all the races are on board with this galactic council.
Yeah.
Here is the threat: man is now God. Now, hear me out on this, because when we cracked the genetic code and when we began, our first experiment was Dolly. Remember that?
Yep.
The
See.
lambs.
Yep. I remember.
Well, apparently that has violated one of the conditional terms that has protected our planet.
Yep.
This race of being, they are insectoids, as the best way I can say. Maybe they do have some reptilian in there, but they're nasty looking. They're pissed
Mantle.
because, pardon?
The mantis beings. The mantle.
Maybe so. They're called the insectoids. They look something
Okay.
similar to there. We'll show them this week in this, but they're pissed.
Yeah.
Um, the Chinese have been working in building what they call a super soldier.
Mm-hmm.
They have been rearranging. Apparently, they have done it, or apparently we are close there, or done it ourselves.
You
The
know what else?
point is, these other races don't think that humans are intelligent enough to handle what we have moved ourselves into. And they intend to correct this.
That would make sense. That would make sense. I think because when you start altering the books of creation, no man can possibly comprehend what that could do to the entire collective universal system, because we are micro expressions of the meta multi-dimensional energy potential that you are in existence. So this is a fractal of what you are, but what you're doing here will affect the whole of your being. And there are firewalls that will be put into place to stop problems coming into creation. And when you play God when you're not God, yeah, there can be some serious consequences to that. So it makes total sense for me that there
I
would
can
be
under
some kind of axe coming in and coming down
Yeah,
hard on
coming in
this.
and say, And you think
Uh-huh.
about it, they say that, and when they looked at our human genome, that we couldn't have all come from the same place.
No way.
And they're pointing out they're why they say that they have the right to intervene in this situation is because we are the result of the same type of mistake. And they
Correct.
say that man has not understood the consequences of that, the
Nope.
fact that if you create life, there is going to be a spiritual connection to that life, no matter how you look at life.
Yes, 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 yes. And I think you're right, Wayne. I think the two times I've seen this done before was Atlantis and Egypt.
Interesting
Two
you bring
times.
that up. Yeah. And I think potentially Sumer would be in there.
Yeah,
Uh,
that might be another
yeah,
one too. You're
yeah.
absolutely right. Wow. Yeah, bet you're. Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm hearing yes, yes, yes on that one. So, yeah.
Thorne is saying that the original pair were black
Uh-huh.
and there were they were more as they would say, much more conditioned to be laborers.
Yes, I
And
think
it didn't
so.
work out because they began to rebel.
Yes, absolutely.
And so they started genetically altering those things. And it's real interesting because the story of Eden is really an escape story.
Yes.
It's not what we have been taught. The way that the off-worlders, and they're not gods, but they are seen. The Elohim is, I thought for years the Elohim was the pluralistic of, Yahweh. No, Elohim in its original translation means the powerful ones.
And you know what I see when I think of Elohim?
Tell
The
me.
rays of light, all of them, 7 rays of light that make up our visible light spectrum. And that light is coded with information. So Elohim is the electrical, the color. It's the color because the color has a sound and a vibration. So
Mhm.
that from the be still comes forth the light, and the light is the activator because it's a vibration, it's a sound, it's a ray. So I see Elohim, 7 Elohim as 7 rays of creation, light. We all
It's
get merged
interesting.
through one of those. Mhm.
Okay, I can see that. I mean, because
Yeah.
you have to remember.
But it's in this construct. It's not, that's not the real thing. That's a projector. It's a projector. It shows you this is all a projector. It's fake. It's projection. It's not real. It's projection. Right.
It's amazing what, as you get into this, because
Mm-hmm.
we perceive everything as we equate good evil by actions. If a person is stingy, well, that's evil. If a person is giving, well, that's good. But apparently we equate that all intelligence is going to have emotions with it.
No way.
That's the one thing. There is some that just, they don't, many of these species, they
No
just
way.
don't have any
None.
emotions at all.
Absolutely none. They
Yeah.
have none. None.
So getting back to the Adam and Eve, the garden story, that was actually an escape um, from the geneticists. Now, it brings up this point then, what are we dealing with here? If we talk about, for instance, if you're going to conjure, let's say you want to become a witch, I don't think you need to be a witch or a wizard or anything. If you want to conjure, you can do it. I've got the books. In fact, I do have some books here, Trina. Let me just share 'em here. So this is an interesting book, Summoning Spirits. Now, I've done this as a Christian for decades.
Yeah.
Uh, the words of Jesus said, "Whatever you loose on earth is loosed in the heavens. Whatever you bind on earth is bound in the heavens."
Correct.
Well, what
Yes.
was he talking about?
He was talking about if you play with the Ouija board, you're going to open up the pit of hell. If, if you're
um,
praying and calling out to the angels to help you, that might not be so bad. That might actually support you and work out good for you. But yeah, that's what that
but
means to me.
also remembers it says
Woo!
that Satan uh,
Presents himself as an
stuff as
angel of
a
light.
angel of light,
Totally,
so
totally, absolutely got it. Once you start learning this stuff, man, you better learn. You're going to need to know discernment because
so
they will imitate what is your idea of something good, and they will get you into contracts because if you want to do agreements with anything and you think anything's above you or you need help with anything, oh, right there, you're stepping into trouble already.
So I like what this, the evocation can be defined as calling forth of an entity,
which is the
ET,
spirit, or a person that's not no longer in
or
flesh.
maybe it's a being that they're not restricted to the material confinement. They actually, their essences is the ability that they can be in multi dimensions at.
Those are the ascended masters, Lane. I'm pretty sure that they have that capability.
Yep.
So
Well, anyway, from another plane of existence, I love this, to an external manifestation in either the astral or the physical plane. And by the way, if you want this book, it's one of the best. I'm not going to get into it all. I just wanted to tell people that if you want to do it, you want to learn how, you can do it. Just understand it's like having a sign and going through social media that a party is going to be at your house this Friday and you weren't aware of who was coming.
yeah, serious.
Because they don't travel alone. I'll just
No,
tell
they
you
don't.
this, they do not. When you go over to the other side, you're going to quickly want to find yourself with other like-minded energies, what you would call spirits or souls, because if you get left out, it's brutal over there, folks. Here's another one, communing with the spirits. Now, you see, I don't have a problem with this because throughout my Christian belief system, this is what I was doing already. I was communing with the spirits.
Yes.
I mean, when I prayed in the name of Jesus, and I would bind the angels. And, when I moved into my house here, I walked the property and I spoke the blood. And then I commanded the angels, and I have legions of them, and
Yeah,
told them to stand around. They're still here,
absolutely. They won't leave.
which tells me that
Yeah.
it's not Christianity that is the real power here.
No, it's you.
Thank you.
It's you.
Anyway, this is another one. Again, I'm just trying to show you folks real quick. Um, this is from the Islamic point of view. So it's diverse. We have both if you look at Islam is under the Abrahamic umbrella. Again, this goes back, Trina, all the way back to Indonesia, back to the time that apparently our species, through shamans of the early days, were the bridge.
Yes.
We were I say we, isn't that odd? That was a
Yeah,
Freudian slip.
right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, where did that come from?
Yep.
What the heck happened there?
You remember what you were. Yes.
We were the astral bridge.
Yeah. Yep.
Which tells me that many of us were not like many of the others out there, but we are, and some call us the star children, some call us the star seeds. Some say indigo, I don't know. But we do seem to have this natural tendency. And isn't it odd for myself that 50 years, and look where I'm ending up. I think this is where I've always been. What say you?
I totally think, and I think that you've probably died in past lives for doing this stuff. So you found a safe place to hide and get into your natural rhythm with religion because it was the closest thing,
It probably was, yeah.
Yeah. Then when you woke up, you were like, oh crap. And now you know what's up. But yeah, we go with what matches our vibration. And I really do think a lot of humans in the days of Adam and Eve and stuff, we were still very aware of what we had before the fall. And I really think the fall was a genetic modification. It changed the body and we lost our powers. Like our telepathy was diminished. Everything was, like you say, doled down. It was like we were put in some kind of a frequency cage. And I keep hearing this, it's another frequency cage. It's the same thing. It's happened before through time over and over again. And
It sucks is what it does. I mean, at what point, I guess this is what's my problem with reincarnation is like, well, at what point does the oberus and the cycle of reincarnation, to me, that's illogical.
I think that you get amnesia coming in here, so you'll run through these cycles until you can wake up.
Well,
And
I
I
think
think
we're
that
doing a
that
lot of waking up here, to be candid
oh,
with you.
absolutely. But I think that these major things happen in cycles. So this is the completion of the cycle, and this is the big ending. So this is where you get, the sorting, the wheat and the chaff. It's the bifurcation. This is when this happens. And then some people are going to go back into more incarnations into the flesh, the third dimensional, fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional realms. But they do it knowingly because they want more of the codes from this library. So apparently this library's got a lot to offer for our genetics and our vibration and our colors when we leave it. So I
Well,
understand the importance of it, but it is a trap. So you can get
Gordon,
stuck in it for a long time, Wayne.
apparently there are those who come from and this is really interesting. So reading this, there is an activation. What they did is that when they put the electronic net, and that's what we are under today. I mean, the 5G, the 6G, all of these are suppression techniques. It's like electromagnetic lithium.
Mhm.
That's what it
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, I like that. I
Yeah.
like
How about that, babe?
I'm like, that's a good one.
Use that one. And what it's done for some of us, because I think many of us are here. We came here for a reason. There's a frequency, there's a vibration that this group puts out.
Yes,
And it's not that everyone is in a love chat, kumbaya. There is differences of opinion. There
absolutely.
are different backgrounds, but yet there is the platform and the forum of which there is this immersion where there is respect more than there is, belief.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the key to where we want to go. That is the key to where we want to go. We start understanding there are no races. We are Terrans,
I
and we
think
have
some
to
of us are
control
going
it.
to be literally transported out of here.
I think that's the stories of the rapture, and that's why
I think
people
they
firmly
agree.
believe in the rapture. And I think that's why, because in their subconscious, they know they're going to go that route. They know it.
They say that many of it, and sometimes it takes years for the full activation because we're going through, and I like how you brought this out, Trina, firewall after firewall.
Yes,
We
for
many
so
of them that we've built, but we come, with much larger ones. And that when the activation begins in the cellular memory of our DNA, when that activation begins, eventually we will become, and I'm going to tell on you a little bit here, you become this beacon, like when you were in Sedona this weekend. Everybody was coming to you. They were looking for directions, but I look at it a lot deeper than that, hun. I look at it at the fact that it's how shall we say, allegorical to what exactly you are. You are this emanating of this frequency, of this energy.
yeah, they can feel it. They can see it. It's for sure.
Tell people what happened. I mean,
Well, I went and just sat by the creek, and I literally went somewhere really weird that didn't have a lot of space, so people couldn't come near me because I just wanted to kind of just sit and connect with the river. And there's a lot of people up there right now because it's warm, and the restrictions are kind of really lightened up here a lot, so everybody is out just going woohoo, yay. But yeah,
party.
I couldn't get 5 minutes by myself. As soon as one couple would leave, another person would arrive, and then that person would leave and another couple would arrive. And they were asking me, if I was a local and if I lived there, and they're about vortexes, and do you know where this road goes, and do you know what this is? And it was just one thing after another, and I was just like, just
I
laughing,
love it.
it's okay. I guess I'm supposed to be here
The
to
only
ask
thing you were probably
questions.
lacking was the tour guide hands out, and like so
Yes,
I
absolutely.
like that. So they
Yeah.
were looking for the vortexes, huh? I love
Yeah,
this.
that was the most common question I was being asked was, do you know about the vortex energies and do you know where they are? And I would say, yeah.
Did you see
Mhm.
anyone using rods or anything?
No, but you will in the vortexes sometimes, for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're going to meet up. We got
Yes.
this plan. We're going to come down and see you, and then we're going to head out over to Marsha's
You know,
house.
one of the best ways to find a vortex too is watch for twisting of trees.
Yeah, I could see that.
One of
Yep.
the best ways to find a vortex energy. And if you get in somewhere and your compass is freaking out, look around at the nature around you and see if you can see stuff forming these spirals. Because if you see that, then you know you got to move out of that direction to get any kind of direction again, because you're spinning in a vortex and you don't know where you're at, Alice. You have just gone down the rabbit hole.
Apparently, as our magnetopause weakens,
Huh?
the many of these other races, they're quite advanced, but we're going to see much more openings, and it's going to freak out a lot of people because they're catching some of these already, but many of us will be out in the daylight, and you're going to see freaking openings
Yeah.
literally in the sky, folks. I mean,
Yeah, and you know, be careful with your reactions, y'all, because you know you don't want to go to the funny room because a lot of these people aren't going to see what you're seeing at first. They will catch up
yeah.
because it'll hundred monkey, but we got to wait until they hit that point before you can just be like, dude, check that out, you know, because pay attention to anybody around, or you know, say, do you see something weird in the sky? But don't be like, dude, I totally see a portal. It's a you because you be sensitive. You are going to be a trigger to make a lot of people see what they couldn't see because you'll point it out to them. But some of them aren't ready to see it and they won't. And some are going to see it for the first time and literally have a meltdown in your presence. And it's going to be your job to calm them down and say, it's okay. I've seen those before. They won't hurt. It's okay. You know, so we're going to have to be
Trina, when you
walking
were
in some
saying that,
weird territory, man.
um, I was working one of the larger outdoor concerts back in 1972. And what we did, I was in volunteer for people who are having a bad trip on.
Yeah.
And how we would train others is that we would bring people that were kind of really tripping bad. And as they came down and as we showed them how to become calm and calm your mind, mostly.
Yeah.
And what we would do is train others and they would go out and train others. And it's much
Yeah.
like you were just saying that the same thing because I do believe that, folks, I'm convinced there is an event about to happen. I mean, I think, Trina, there's going to be a full-blown announcement because
Yeah.
there is some other things that are coming down the pike. And when the announcement is made, they're already doing soft disclosure now. If you
Yeah.
look at NBC News, CBS, ABC, the primary mainstream media, they have in the last 6 months done more stories on the fact that now there's admission by our government, by the Pentagon. Yes, these are not of this planet. They're from off-world, and we're going to see more of this to the point where I think they're just going to come out and say, "Listen,
And
here's the
this is gonna,
reality."
yeah, this is going to be the same situation where lots of people might be going because they're going to believe those are saviors. That might
Boy,
be
I'm glad you brought this up because this is what Thorne is saying is the problem is that when that happens, um, that's been the big problem is that if they had just told us 4,000 years ago that who we perceived as God, saviors, and what have you were nothing more than alien races. We call them
master
aliens, but they look
geneticists.
at us as aliens.
Master geneticists.
Yes, thank you. And that was the original path that we were supposed to go down. We weren't supposed to be down this path we're on right now.
No, we were not, because you were
No.
not supposed to be wiped with the memory.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
only thing that what the memory needs to be wiped so they can keep you into bondage, servitude, servants. So this is what we're breaking free of, guys. This is no more I believe. We're now I know. And this age of Aquarius is a humanitarian frequency. That's the energy of Aquarius is humanitarian. That means we start to love each other like
Because
for the
I'm fed up
first time ever.
many of these races look at us as animals. And that,
Because
and
we are.
that's what they say. They bring out
But
the indictment. They say that you kill each other.
that's
You,
right.
you harm each other, you malign each other. They're saying this is not a sign of intelligence. This is a
Nope.
sign of animalistic behavior.
Totally agree. 100% absolutely agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said certain humans are going to go to a different place and certain humans are going to go to a different place. It's going to be based on what you believe is good and right and real. It's all about what you perceive. What you think about, you will be manifesting in your future existences and realities, because nobody can do that for you but you. And you literally are that powerful. And that's the thing is, without direction of how important it is for you to, become positive polarized, if you choose to go down dark paths, you're going to get more dark path business. That's how it's going to roll. So, but everything's
Wow.
allowed
Love
here
that.
in a land of polarity. So, as much pain and suffering as you can experience, it's the higher the vibrations of love and miracles you can express, because this is the craziest thing. And that's why a lot of people come here and choose to suffer, because they understand the opposite frequency of that pain is going to be a level of love they've never been able to reach before. And isn't that profound?
It's very profound. And when you were talking, what I saw was a cell. And when a cell splits, bifurcates, one is going to be the cancerous cell of
Yes.
our current state of mind. The other one is going to be this translucent life.
Yes, that is
Yes.
awesome, Wayne.
And
That's what I see.
yeah. And
That's
and
what I
and they
see.
have repelling forces.
Yes.
They come from the same source, but they have
Yes.
repelling force.
That's the polarity.
Yeah.
That is the perfect definition of the absolute polarity. So, yes, what you think about and be about, perceive about, you will bring about, and you will connect to the body that matches your perception, your beliefs, your frequency, your vibration, and what you are. And with all the choices here, because everything is allowed here. So, you have free will to determine what you want to vibrate at. And that is so, if we could only really truly comprehend the power that we could accomplish through the vibrational shifting that we have a natural ability to achieve, you guys would be walking around like Jesus and doing
Wow.
those things. That would be second nature, because truly this is what we are. This is what we are, and this is why we're here.
I think one of those days are coming, because if I can think it, you can think it, others. I see a time when this planet is no longer bound by the monetary system.
Yeah.
When we get rid of this thing, rich man, poor man, money, conscript, whatever it is, and realize that the earth gives of its bounty freely,
Yeah.
that we in turn give freely to each person.
Yes.
I mean, the
You know,
universe is not it's not in a shortage.
most people cannot conceive of that type of a society, because you've been going through 26,000 years of servitude and slavery. But there are so many civilizations that none of them have any form of a monetary exchange. None. None. There's
They do that at the Burning Man each year. That they didn't have it last year, but when the Burning Man meets is when you're inside their city limits. There is no money,
Oh
none.
yeah,
Uh,
everything's barter and trade.
well, no,
Wow.
actually, everything is free.
Wow.
If you need a new pair of shoes, a new set of shoes, there's places where you can get shoes. If you need a
Wow.
blouse or something, yeah, it's free. And, because they point out the fact that the average person throws away in an average year over 1 ton of excess stuff, that if they would have shared it with others,
Yes.
that the one thing Americans are the most wasteful on is food,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
and their belief is that there's enough food for everybody.
There is.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that.
When I cook here, I'll just tell a little story, is that I always cook more than enough, because we send it, Lynn takes it to work, and the other people there, it feeds their family.
Right.
I
They
mean, that's
enjoy
just
it.
freaking
They're like,
cool.
Wade's home cooking. Oh, baby.
I have more than one child say, "Is that Mr. Wayne's cooking?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that Mr. Wade's cooking? They're like, okay, because I know I'm eating tonight. That's right.
and
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, and I look at cooking, as like alchemy.
It is. It's one of the highest
I'm putting
forms.
love and healing in there. You're going to eat this food. It's, listen, I can't do anything about what they've done to the outside of it, but when I'm cooking it, I can permeate it with my energy.
And that's so profound because it literally changes the structure of it. It is absolutely true. It's amazing that science is finally starting to catch up with the
Gee.
philosophers have always known.
Mm. They're a hard bunch to, them scientists. They just, they come screaming and kicking, and you bring them to the
And
water and they go,
now,
"Oh, this
yeah,
is water." Yeah.
yeah,
No,
they
no
can't
kidding. That's what we've
deny
been
it
telling you.
anymore, though. It's so in their face now. They're having to look at everything and go, "Oh man, dude, they had a lot of stuff right." Yeah. Oh, shoot.
I love it. I love it. But and that's I don't see this as all doom and gloom. I really see this as a great new hope. I mean, and I think it's beyond hope. This is a
We're
knowing.
gonna create a new Earth, and it's not going to be a slavery Earth anymore. And a lot of people will be returning to an Earth similar to the one we're existing in now. It's going to be all about where you're at.
Yeah.
Where do you resonate? Where do you want to go? What is your expectations? Most people are so in the trance that they can't even imagine anything other than just being their fleshly human body
Yeah.
on earth. They really can't. But this disclosure thing, this is going to be a gift from the creator because this will blow open their box. Their doors are going to fall off and they're going to be trying to find a way to put it
Kaboosh.
back up and it just ain't going to work out and they're going to have little meltdowns. So
I think
yeah,
this gonna be
that's
could
yeah.
be a whole new episode of Mythbusters, Get ready to have your construct blown.
That's right. And but that's an opportunity for extreme, powerful, beautiful change and growth.
Yeah, it
So,
is. Yeah.
so this is why that opportunity is presenting itself right now because this is critical. We are in it. Just like we said, we were right. I'm like, oh yeah, Wayne, we are in it.
And that is exactly
Yeah.
this is when you read this stuff and you get this material, it really begins to saturate, not only the conscious memory, but it literally saturates all parts of you, and you begin to break those paradigms away. You're going, okay, all right. So I can accept the fact that although I can see that I'm still blind as a bat, but
Yes.
like a bat, I can still see even with that which I can't.
Yes.
Yes. So this morning at 3 o'clock, when I was outside and I saw the three lights up there, this time I purposed in my thoughts and I said, I can see you. I'm not afraid of you. You don't need to be afraid of me. And they went like this. And then, and I said, all right, small steps, small
Yeah.
steps,
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the most, it appears this is one of the most warmest welcomes for those higher beings would be greetings and salutations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's saying I'm your friend. So just when you see them say, I see you, greetings and salutations. They know you're not afraid if you're saying that. They know. I don't know how they know, but they know. I don't know. They know.
I love that. And
Yeah,
Trina,
they
that's,
would say it to
yeah,
me a lot, and now I'd say it back, and it's like they know. It's like I don't know. So try that. Greetings and
I'm
salutations.
going to do it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, if telepathy is the most preferred way, and here's the challenge I understand, and this is what these books teach. And some people say, well, why don't they just simply speak to me? You have to understand they're so much higher in intelligence. And what you're saying is that everyone in the universe knows English.
They're talking to you all the time. You just can't hear it.
It's exactly. If they, for instance,
Yeah.
they have been sending us radio messages for
Yeah.
thousands of years. It's just
Yes.
been in the last 200 years that man has had the ability to understand what radio is and radio waves.
That is exactly what I mean. You guys have antennas within your mind, and when the higher you can get your vibration going, the more channels of the higher frequencies you're able to tune into. And like I said, you have to work your way up to these vibrations. I mean, when I used to get into the really high vibrations, it still happens once in a while, but it would make my whole internal spine literally shake. And it would look like I was cold, like I was freezing, but I was literally really warm, filled with fire, heat, because the frequency was so high, the vibration is so high, and you could like feel your chest and your heart like kind of shaking. So yeah, it takes a while to get your body into where you can hold these vibrations and still be able to like get the information through because it's intense.
Well,
Intense.
I've made, my wife's going to get it for my birthday, which is in about 19 days. But anyway, going to a regression therapist. And I have a number of things now because I got to tell you,
Yeah.
and I'm on the record for this, so you can go back and look at past episodes, but there was something that took place in, I lived with my grandparents in 1959, 1960 in Santa Clara in my back bedroom. And it's amazing how they suppress the memories. And I think again, um, do you remember let me show you something. We're going over today, folks. That's okay. Trina, you don't have anywhere to go, do you?
I don't know if I like hanging out with you, Wayne, and I'll
I love the
whole
company.
time.
Uh,
Learn and you'll keep me.
yeah, I want to show you. Let's see. Um,
I do that, I don't do, well, I do regressive because people always do that when you take them into their bodies. They usually
mhm.
go, but is it regression? It's like, or because time's all the same. It's a hard to deal with the whole time thing. So that is where I see miracles. I see people heal things that they weren't able to do. And I just see amazing things when people actually get into that place in their
Yeah.
mind. Wow. Wow.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of these memories have been purposely regressed in us. And here we go. Let's see if this is what I'm looking for.
Wonder, Wayne, what I thought one time, and it sticks with me once in a while. I just had it again. Sometimes we choose the hardest obstacles and the worst things in this existence, especially when we're children, because that darkens your light. And because if you did not have that light darkened, you would have been a target and they would have actually destroyed you before you had come to an age to where you could do what you came here to do. So I've
Hmm.
seen in a lot of situations that's actually, it was your own protection to keep your light dimmed.
So as I look at this, I'm beginning now that many of us have been, so just to show you, so this is my grandparents' house in Benicia. The house is no longer there,
I remember
but
that photo. It's so
can you,
wild,
yeah, I
Wayne.
mean, there it is. There,
Gosh almighty. That is so strange.
I mean, what the hell is
Never seen
this?
anything like that. And it makes a pyramid almost. It literally looks like a pyramid.
I mean, and it's got these orbs on it. It's coming right out of the ground. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that, you go, what's up with this? And
That's
there it
like,
is.
it is mind blowing that photo. I was like, whoa,
What's your
whoa.
impression on this? I mean, seriously.
No, I got two. I mean, my original thought was like, that's a dark energy. But then when I really started to look into it, when you started focusing in on the balls of the light that was within it, I literally was like, this was such a strong manifestation of divine feminine protective energy. It was literally like guarding you, like nothing was getting through that thing. Nothing.
I never feared anything. And that's my bedroom in the
That was
back. That's
another
where,
reason I was
yeah.
wondering if that conclusion was because you said you felt no threat, you felt
Mm-mm,
no bad feeling. So I
no.
was like, that is a hard shield of protection. If you felt no badness with that, then that is like a massive manifestation of the divine feminine power right there. Because that's darkness that will cloak you. It's like a womb.
Yeah, it's
Womb.
big too, by the way, folks. The house is, standard size, about 15 feet. And you can see how it's coming from the ground. This is like 20 feet. But yeah, I'm glad, thank you for taking the time to take, because it's a weird thing,
I see
that,
it literally, Wayne, where it goes behind the house and we can't see it, but the energy of it for me is a pyramid. It's a power point.
interesting.
I mean, it is a pyramid, and it's covering that house like, I dare you. You know, that
Yeah.
it's like, I got this. I dare you. Can you get past my point of power? And look at the top. It's got that ball
I
shining
had
through.
a physicist write me when he saw this. He said, "This is exactly what is depicted when you're going in different dimensions." He said, "You can see that there's
Yep.
energy here. There is something." And look at,
It's like outer space.
yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It really looked cosmic. When you look into
And
that
you can,
darkness, it looks like outer space. It looks
and
like,
here it is. I mean, it's,
wow.
yeah,
That's when I started realizing the divine feminine essence of that. When I started seeing it looked like space, it looked like the womb. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And if you didn't feel
weird,
it
isn't it?
bad, I think that was a protective force. And wow, was it big time coming down on you? Big time.
Yeah. And the odd thing is when I went back and looked at this, I was just allowed to travel because I had just come out of the coma with the meningitis, and
Oh,
then
wow.
this thing comes up. But anyway, yeah. So
That's like confirmation, because when you were weak, if something was trying to come in while you were weak,
isn't that weird?
she was like, really? Get through me first.
Well, send us your pictures if you have similar entities hovering over your house.
Yeah, I don't have any hovered over my house. I got a picture of me and my light being
There you
friends.
go.
Geez, yeah, I got a really good
I'm
picture
going to
of
get
that.
a blown up poster, by the way, of Sanji in the rainbow light. I mean, that is a
Isn't that
freaking
amazing?
phenomenal picture.
That is amazing.
It
And
is.
like, this was about conjuring. Guys, you guys have no idea. You can conjure anything, you can do anything. Literally, that is your potential. But
Yeah.
please use it for good, and use it, because you will get what you make. So what you
Yeah.
create, you will eat it, you will consume it. So be ready. So just use the power that you have wisely, because we need to start practicing, start working with it, start trusting in your abilities, and start finding out what are your hidden abilities that have been shut off, that you earned in past lifetimes, because we all have magical talents and gifts within us. It's time to unlock them.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah,
Like what Brandy said, and let your love flow.
yes, like the
That's what
mountain.
y'all got to do. Exactly, like a mountain stream. That's
I know
it.
that song.
Well, Trina, this has been far out. I have
Oh,
enjoyed
man.
that.
Yeah. I'm sure
Thank you,
everybody has
everyone.
missed you so bad too, Wayne. I know I was. So I'm sure like, oh,
Like,
thank God Wayne's on today.
someone wrote me in most sweetest email and said, I don't like these Fridays off, and I don't like
Right.
these
It's not
Mondays
working for
off.
me,
Yeah,
Wayne.
it's like,
It's just not working for me. I love you, but it's just not working
it's
for
like
me.
you need to rearrange your schedule, dude. All right, thank you. By the way, everyone should go in, and if you can, rewatch the movie The Dark Crystal. Remember, it
Oh,
was about the puppets.
profound, right?
I want to say the F word, but I'm not.
Right. They,
But
no, the Lord told me one time, he says, if you want to understand what's going on here, watch The Dark Crystal. He told me that when I was younger. I was in my 30s, but he said the dark, or
yeah,
35, I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
He was like, if you want to understand what you're dealing with, watch The Dark Crystal. I was like,
There is a scene in there where the girl, she got captured in there, and now she's at the what we would call probably the witch, or what, a master wizard sorcerer, but
yeah.
drained her of the essence of her joy, the and the dark. Oh, they folks, I was blown away.
Whoa, right?
I mean,
Right? That's when I was like, well, energy sucking light things can, oh my God. Yeah, yeah, wow. Oh, wow.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Oh,
whoa.
and then you hear, succubus, incubus.
Oh,
This
it's
is
all
what
in
that
there.
is.
Oh,
They're
it's
like,
all
that's
in
right
there.
there showing you this is what happens, man. Get your shield up, put your armor on, guys. You need it. Yeah,
And
this
I
is
am
real.
convinced there has to be planted, and this goes with kind of what Ariel was saying. There is a device on this planet, folks, that I believe is where a lot of this shit is emanating from.
I've always seen that the matrix of this earth is being projected from a crystal.
There is something that they implanted here, and that dark crystal, all I always got to say is that blown away.
Big clues to what we're dealing with.
Yeah, yeah.
That is so accurate. I saw the correlations too, and I was like, what?
What? All right, folks. Trina, you're on Friday with Andromeda 7.
And then Saturday with Robert, Milky Way Soul Tribe. And
saw that with you and Lucky. Lucky ought to get himself do more of those.
I just love Lucky Stone.
He's a
just
walking
such a
philosopher is what I
wonderful
call him.
being. Yeah, I'm telling you what.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
and David Barry. I did a show
Yeah.
with him. Oh, these are some amazing.
The thing with David Barry, that show Thursday, I mean, it's gone viral. I mean, it'll be hitting 6,000 here.
I'm telling you, there are people that are really doing the work, and wow, it is amazing because they are, you become a teacher instead of a student, and we're seeing a lot of students graduating to teachers.
I'm happy to see it too, because they have a part to play in this.
Yes. Oh my God, we need more.
Yep.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yep. Yeah, David and I are talking on an idea. We're letting it prosper in its proper ways. The thing about it is people don't understand. They abort more of their most profitable ideas.
Yeah.
Before, and we're really good at that. But if you'll let an idea just kind of, I don't know, just pick up the energy and the vibe, it will show itself to you. But anyway, yeah.
Well, you put it in the flow of that river, and
you do. Let it flow.
It grow. Yeah.
That's it. That's
let
it.
Flow and let it grow. Yeah.
And let your love flow.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Thank you, Brandy.
Brandy?
Yeah.
The earworm in our head.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. All right, folks. Thank you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Trina, much love to you, dear. We thank you all, the moderators. Y'all are just the best. And thank you for making this journey so enjoyable. Hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to Trina's channel. Come on. All of these people with the channels should have at least 1,000 subscribers. At least. We've got that pool.
You guys are brilliant. Yes, it definitely should be.
All right. Much love, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.